Welcome to a new class of app development with Python. So just like I said on the introduction of our course, that we're going to be showing you a couple of applications which we're going to be making in this course. So first thing that we want to do, or the application which we want to start off with, is going to be building a calculator app. Is obviously going to take a couple of part of these classes. So this is going to be the first part of building a calculator app structure. So it's not going to be functional, but in this class, I'm going to be showing you how you'll be able to create the app structure of a calculator just by using Python. Another thing that I want to uncover in this class is that we are going to be using PyQt5, which is also used for app development. Okay, so without any further ado, and let's open up any IDE which we have on our device. So from my screen, you can see that I have opened up. One thing that I said just a while ago is that we are going to be using PyQt5. Now in this class, I'm going to be using three different type of, let's say, these deliverables, not these deliverables, but these dependencies, which I'm going to be using, such as PyQt, Pillow, and also Matplotlib. Now you guys might think like, why am I going to be using all of these into one application? Well, the hierarchical functional, or let's say the structure of the calculator, is in such a way that you have to use these. Now, another thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you want to use PyQt, Pillow, and Matplotlib, you have to install it individually just by running some commands. Now, the first thing that you want to do when you want to install PyQt on your device is that right after this kvbd basics, which I am already running, right after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in space, or you can also put in pip3 install, and then you want to type in PyQt5. Okay, hit on enter, and then you want to wait for a bit. And pip3 install PyQt is just the same way, or it is the same command on all OSs. So you can try it out on the other OSs, or just wait until this has been installed on your device. Or if it does not work, or if it shows you off an error on your screen, then you might understand, or you will understand, that it is not functional on your UI, or let's say on the version of Python you are running. So you're just going to wait for a bit until all of these packages are unpacked and installed and downloaded on your devices. After that, what you want to do is you have to also install in, let's say, Matplotlib, and also other, let's say, those dependencies which you have to install before running out the whole application. So now you can see that we have installed our, let's say, pip, or let's say PyQt5 on our device. Now the next thing what you want to install on your device is going to be Pillow. So it's also the same way. Just type in pip3 install, then you're going to type in Pillow. Hit on enter, and then you're going to wait for a bit, and it's also going to start installing on your device if it does not have any on your device. But if it is already, existing on your device, then it will show you requirement already satisfied. And this is how it will run. And then you can type in your own commands back again. Now, another thing which you can type in is this: type in Python 3 dash space dash, and right after space dash, put in an m pip install Pillow. Hit on enter, and then you can see Python was not found. Run without arguments to install from Microsoft Store, or disable the shortcut. So this is what you want to install on your device. Now, right after that, what you want to do is that you have to install Matplotlib. So if you want to install Matplotlib on your device, that is also very simple. Just type in pip3 install Matplotlib. So just type in like that, pip3 install Matplotlib. Hit on enter, and then you're also going to wait for a bit collecting, and it's also going to download that up on your device. And that's all. you will find out that it will start up downloading that file online, and just make sure that you have stable internet connection during the whole process. So right after these are done, you are totally good to go, and then we're going to start off creating our calculator. So we're just going to wait for a bit until this is done, and then we're going to start off coding on our main.py file. And we're also not going to be using any KV file, but if you want to intertwine two files together, then you can use KV file, but it's going to just, increase the length of the video, and it's going to increase the length of the process. So as this is a very beginner friendly class, and those who have no prior experience to coding with Python, they will also be able to follow through whatever I do in this class. Just make sure not to skip any part. And we're going to wait for a bit, and then let's just start off coding. So when this is downloaded, you can basically see at the bottom of this progress bar is that it's going to update the skeletons, it's going to install it up, it's going to unpack every data or every package that you need to run PyQt5. Okay, so you can see that after this will just stop, updating the skeletons and stuffs. So basically we are good to go. We have now matplotlib, we also have pillow, and we also have PyQt5 installed on our device. So there we go, we're good to go. Now, one thing that I want to do over here is that I'm going to cut off everything over here. Now, I'm going to create a couple of sections. So I'm going to start off with hash commands. So here, I'm going to have my import section. Then here, I'm going to have, let's say, the app settings. Then I'm going to have my separate section just for design. Well, this is also like an addition, but you can also skip it if you want to. So it's basically up to you. And the last one, which I want to do, or which I want to create a section for, is going to be show or /run. Okay, so there we go. We have 4 different sections. So we're going to start off from the import over here. So on the import, what I want to do is I'm going to type in from, let's say, PyQt5, as it is already installed right now. I'm going to put in .widget. Okay, you're going to type in QWidgets, and you want to import it from a lot of dependencies, which is going to start off with Q. Let's say I'm going to type in Q applications. There we go. Q applications, comma, and then you're going to put in Q widget, comma, you're going to put in Q line edits, comma. Right after that, you want to put in Q push button, comma, and then you're going to put in Q box layout, comma. And then the last one which you want to put in is going to be, or let's say you can put in QH, okay? So here you can put in QH box layouts. And the last one which you want to work with is going to be, let's say, the QV. So I'm going to put in QV box layouts. And you want to work with Q grid layouts. There we go. So we have all of those dependencies which we want to work with. Now, inside of the app settings, what I want to do is I'm going to create the structure. So I'm going to start off with the app equal. Let's say the app is equal to Q application. There we go, Q application. Open up the parentheses, and inside you're going to put in the second bracket too. So there we go, we have the second brackets, and now I'm going to put in main. And let's just say I'm going to create the main window. So the main window which I'm creating is going to be, let's say, the Q widget. Okay? So do the same thing over here, just open up the parentheses one time, and that's all. Now the next thing what I want to create is going to be the main window, set window title. So I'm going to put in main window, and right after main window, I'm going to put in set window title. So I'm going to find out set window title window, and here we have the set window title over here. open up the parentheses, and even if you just double click on it, it's going to open up on its own. Put in double quotation, and here I'm going to put in the name of the app. Let's say MD app. Okay, so it's going to say MD app inside. And now the next thing what I want to do is I'm going to create the size of the main window. So here main window dot resize. There we go. We're going to resize the value with any specific value. Let's say I'm going to put in 260, comma, let's say 310. So that is going to be the main window size. Now, the next thing what I want to do is I'm going to not put anything in the design because I'm not going to be designing my calculator that much. But first thing that I want to do is I'm going to put in main window. There we go. Main window dot show. So we are showing, or let's say we are representing our application this time. And you want to put in app.executive.exec, executive, put in an underscore, and then just open up the parentheses. Now, if I just run the whole thing, and if I check this, you can see that we have our app structure working properly. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to know about how you'll be able to create the calculator. So it is still not working yet, but I'm going to be creating the application right now. Okay, so you can also type in, let's say, maybe a calculator app. So if I just put in calculator app, now if I just play this up again, you can see we have the calculator app right over here. Now, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to create another section, which is basically going to define my objects. So here I'm going to put in hash all objects, hash all objects slash widgets. So there we go. Here I'm going to work with maybe a couple of text box, grids, and maybe a couple of buttons, which I'm going to be working with. So what you basically have to do is that you have to put in maybe text box. So here I'm going to put in text box equal to Q line edit. Open up the parentheses. There we go. Now the next line, I'm going to work with the specific grid, which we are going to be creating inside of our calculator. So grid is going to be, let's say, the number of buttons, which is going to be represented inside of my application. So here, grid is going to be equal to QGrid, which is going to be the QGrid layout. Open and close off the parentheses. And right after that, we're going to be creating our buttons. Buttons equal, and then open up the second bracket. So we are good to go. Now you can try playing out the whole thing. So if I just play this out, you can basically see, or you will basically see this is how it is still looking like. Okay. So here we go. We have the exact buttons, which is going to be working inside of my panel. So there we go. We have this, and inside of my button, I'm going to define each and every one of the buttons which I want to represent. So first off, we have to do is we're going to be creating a couple of these buttons, but I'm going to be making sure that it is just the way I want it to be. So I'm going to minimize this just for now. And here I'm going to be creating this space. So I'm going to put in double quotation. Let's say I'm going to start off with the 7, comma, secondary bracket again. Here it's going to be 8. Okay, we can cut off this double, let's say, secondary bracket, 8, comma, double quotation. Here I'm going to put in 9. And the last one, what I'm going to be putting is going to be, let's say, it could be the divide sign. So I'm going to put in comma, double quotation, and there we go. We have the divide. Now, as we have these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a comma, and I'm going to copy all of these, Control C. And we're going to have like 4 lines. So I'm going to paste all of these on 4 of these lines. There we go. There we go. Make sure that all of them are on the same indentation level. Here I'm going to put in 4, 5, 6. And the last one, which is going to be the function. Here I'm going to put in a star. On this, I'm going to put in 1, 2. There we go. We have 3 over here. And the last one, what I want to show over here is going to be the minus value. There we go. Here, I'm going to put in 0. After that, I'm going to put in, let's say, maybe a dot. Here, it's going to be an equal. And the last one is going to be the plus. So there we go. We have the exact buttons which we want to define inside of our, let's say, our software or application. Now, if I play this out, just wait until it has been run. And there you can see it is still not showing me anything. So what I basically have to do is that I'm going to create a couple of, let's say, clear and delete buttons. So here I'm going to cut this off or minimize this just for now. So now let's create our clear and delete. So here I'm going to create a bit of space over here. And I'm going to put in clear. Let's just type in clear over here. Clear is equal. Put in an equal sign over here. And I'm going to put in Q push button. Open up the parentheses, and inside I'm going to put in double quotation and clear. And right after clear, I'm going to put in delete. Delete equal. I'm going to put in Q push button. Now open up the parentheses again. There we go. We have 2 Q push buttons. And inside, put in a double quotation. And this is what you want to put inside. So there we go. We have each and every one of these. Now we're going to get into our design section. Okay. So I'm going to go inside of my design section, and we're going to design our application a bit more. But first things first, what we have to do is we have to create our master layout. So if you want to create your master layout, there is like a lot of commands which you have to type here. So first thing, we're going to start off with the master command, okay? Or let's say the master layout command, which is going to use the QV box layout. So here I'm going to put in master layout. Master layout is going to be equal to QV, or let's say you can put in QV box layouts, open up the parentheses. Next one, I'm going to put in master layout again, equal to, let's say, or you can also put in master layout dot add widget. So after that, open up the parentheses, and here I'm going to put in clear. And right after that, what I want to put in is going to be, let's say, another variable or another section where I'm going to put in like the master layout add layout grid. So here I'm going to type in master layout, put in add layout grid. Okay. Just going to type in, open up the parentheses and type in grid. This is how it will look like. And here I'm going to put in the button. Let's say the button. There we go. Just type in button underscore row. Here put in an equal. Inside you're going to put in the QH box layout. Put in button row again. Equal to, let's say this time I'm going to put in add widget instead of putting in QH box because this is already defined. Add widget, open up the parentheses. Inside, you're going to type in clear. Open up the next one. Button row. After button row, put in add widget again. Inside, you're going to put in delete. Okay. So right after delete, what I want to do is I'm going to create more master layout sections. Let's say master layout. Right after that, put in dot add layout. Inside of add layout, you're going to put in button row. There we go. And now I'm going to put in the main widget. Main. Also, I'm going to put in main window, which we have over here. Dot set layout. There we go. Inside of set layout, I'm going to be putting in, let's say, you can try putting in button row over here. And inside this one, I'm going to put in the master layout. Master layout over here. So basically, we are good to go. Now, if I just play out the whole thing, you're just going to have to wait for a bit until, let's say, the whole thing is over here or showing. But it might show you off as an error like this. If it shows you off an error like this, then you have to customize your, codes a bit more. Okay, so we're just going to keep on continuing to code. Now I'm going to be defining my widget or object a bit more. So before this design section over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple of more space. Here I'm going to put in or start off with row equal to 0. I'm going to put in call equal to 0. And right after that, I'm going to put in for text in button. There we go. We have buttons over here. You can also put in just button over here and then put in a semicolon. And right after the semicolon, or maybe just put in a colon if you want to, just like this. So after that, what you want to do is I'm going to put in button or buttons. Button is going to be equal to Q push button. Okay. Q push button, open up the parentheses, and here I'm going to put in a specific text. There we go. And here it's going to be the button. Let's say button dot clicked dot connect. Open up the parentheses, none. Then I'm going to put in grid dot add widget. There we go. Grid dot add widget. Here you're going to put in, let's say, button, comma, row, comma, and also the column. And right after that, you're going to put in, let's say, call, which you have over here. Call is going to be a bit of space, plus, and right after plus, you're going to put in an equal to 1. If you're going to put in the if function, if column is greater than 3, put in a colon. It's going to be call equals 0, enter, and row is also plus or equal to 1. Okay, that's what you want to put in over here. So we're almost kind of good to go. So I'm just going to save up all of these. I'm going to run up the whole thing. And you might see this trace back most error again. Okay, button row add widget. So we're going to keep it just the way it is. And we're going to be customizing the whole command step by step. One thing that we're going to be doing is that we're going to enable this master layout add layout. So if I just play this whole thing back, you might see this error, but it is an easier method to fix out the whole thing. So what you have to do to fix out all of these is that one thing that you want to do over here is that we have clear over here. You want to type in text box over here and then open up the parentheses over here. Now, when you do both of these, it's going to enable this whole command to run all at the same time. So now if I play it, it will not show me an error and it's going to give me off a structure like this. Now, another thing that you will check is that we have this box over here where we can type in our data, but obviously we don't want it to work like that. We want these buttons to give it out a specific value. And we also have clear and also this button over here. Okay. So this is the first part of this class where I have shown you how you can create a structure like this or a structure like a calculator just by using Python. Okay, so thank you for watching this video up till the very end and hope you understood about everything in this class. So let's move on to the part 2 of this class where we are going to be making this app a lot more functional.